Hey there, I'm Lee Ullman here with some big news from the National Young Farmers Coalition. We're partnering with Heritage Radio Network on a special season of The Farm Report. It's all about what's happening with the Farm Bill and how it impacts farmers and eaters.
I am growing diversified vegetables on land that's been in our family for 150 years.
And so with the pandemic, gentrification, property values going up, we had to sell the land and we lost it.
Join us as we uncover the untold stories behind this massive piece of legislation that shapes how we grow our food, what we eat, and so much more.
The problems we have had, those are things that come from earlier Farm Bill and USDA policy, right? Like Earl Butz, get big or get out.
You know, it's my responsibility to know not only what I'm eating, but then like how that all came to be. And realize like, wow, like this piece of legislation, all this money, like it's technically something that I support as a taxpayer.
While Congress debates the next Farm Bill, this is not just an invitation to listen. It's a call to action. Be part of the conversation. Subscribe to the Farm Report on Heritage Radio Network, wherever you listen to podcasts.
This episode is brought to you by Route 11 potato chips. Made with a secret recipe and superior ingredients, their mission is to make an outstanding product in a safe and clean environment. To learn more, visit rt11.com.
Hey everyone, welcome to Snacky Tunes. I am one of your hosts, Aaron Bresnitz. Hope everyone out there is staying safe and sane, taking time to check in on yourself and loved ones. We're excited to be sitting down with Chris and Jason of the How Long Gone podcast. We talk about the origins of the show. We talk about the album they just put out on Jaguar called Adds Color. And we talk about some food, some music. It's a good hang. It's a great conversation. We appreciate them making the time. And then we dig into the archives for a performance from their label mates, Small Black, one of our favorite performances from the shipping containers in Brooklyn. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy Snacky Tunes here on hrn.org.
We talk about food. We talk about music with musical dudes. Finger on the pulse, Snacky Tunes. For
welcome to Snacky Tunes. Jason and Chris from the podcast How Long Gone. Thank you for taking time out of your busy record schedule. I mean, this makes 4 for the week if my math is right, because you dropped 3 every week.
Yeah, that's right. Well, 3.5. You know, we'll see how long this one goes. We usually go 3-4 hours. I don't know if you do the same.
No, we don't. God, no, we don't. I'm anti. We're anti-long podcasts, so don't try to drag us into some 3-hour monstrosity for your Patreon.
No, there's no paywall here. We've been doing this for 11 years and haven't seen a penny. It's
there's a lot of walls, not as much pay.
Yeah. I think the wall's between us and the finances, and not the.
Okay.
You know, Jason, you and I go back a bit. I was happy enough to be. I think I was on the Stew a couple times, and then you also DJ'd one of our barbecues that we did back at. I don't want to name the spot because it's persona non grata, but back in Silver Lake. You were our culinary.
Wait, are you saying? Does Mario Batali have a barbecue place in LA? I didn't realize that. That's crazy. I thought he was more of an Italian chef.
It's the Silver Lake version of that. But
was it? I mean, I don't remember. I don't remember whose house it was.
Clearly, it was clearly at Tenants of the Trees.
Yeah,
clearly.
Yes.
Oh, yes. The Tenants of the Trees.
Yeah.
That whole club was on the airplane with Epstein, man. They fucked up.
Yeah. I think that's where he had his coming out.
And now it's become an unhoused stronghold, and a wall to lean against if you're going to get an acai bowl at Uba Tuba. I know this is a food podcast, so I wanted to bring it all back.
Mm-hmm. No, I appreciate it.
Love Uba Tuba.
Yeah. If you got your TJs to go, you can just sort of snack right outside of Tenants.
Oh
yeah. For people who might not be familiar with the podcast, quick little history. You guys, the show. What's the vibe of it?
Ooh, what's the vibe of our podcast? We started it at the beginning of quarantine as just a couple of friends having a call with each other, and now, it's sort of the same. It's just us talking about our lives, and then we interview different people. But the vibe is, I guess the overall ethos is just keep it entertaining, keep it fun, not too serious, not too political, not too boring. Just like, boom, get in, get out, have a good time, and then on to the next.
Yeah, not too boring is that's good. I like that, Jason.
Yeah, not too boring. A lot of podcasts have dead air and all that bullshit, and people going, I actually think that.
It's the premise of the timing, because you guys do it in an hour or less. I think when you let it go on forever, there's not enough. Not enough time to talk about all that stuff. Just give it an hour, say we'll get what we get, and then come back another time if you left.
Well, also, I just find it being a little bit too with being respectful of people's time.
Yeah.
We're dealing with people. We're not dealing with Jordan Peterson. We have people that have things to do. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit like I want to be respectful of their time as well, and not even necessarily like the highest profile people, but just in general. Like I don't want to talk for more than an hour. I've got shit to do. I have to actually make money.
Mm-hmm.
No, I get that. I mean, I think it allows you to get guests, especially since you do it all remotely. It's like you just fold it into your day. Come in, you're going to come for an hour for us, talk about whatever, no pressure, promote, don't promote, in and out, which is really nice. And it comes through because I think you guys get a lot of guests that maybe wouldn't do a lot of podcasts because they know that they're in good hands.
That's right. We're not smart, but we're good at conversating. You can either pick one or two. There's a lot of smart podcasters out there, bad at talking, bad at conversations.
Yeah.
We're great at conversations. Could be smarter. It's smart. I mean, when did you guys... I'm no dummy.
When did you guys look at each other and think that you had something? Like, was there a moment or a guest or an episode where you go like, oh, this is actually not just us fucking around. Like, this is real.
Well, I mean, we had podcasted a bunch before we even started this, so we sort of already knew that we had a good kind of back and forth vibe. But as far as How Long Gone, maybe because we started out very, very just out of the gate. So we had like Hari Neff was our first guest, who was like a pretty good name. So like it was already kind of cooking from the beginning, and it felt surreal. But I think maybe when we had like Phoebe Bridgers on, that was when we started getting a lot more press and like. Yeah, that was probably a more pivotal moment.
Yeah, because
after that we got our booking agency, we got a lot of different press, and like music magazines were writing about us and not just, the New York Times.
Yeah, I think there was
something.
there was a weird moment where like we were mentioned in the Faye Webster Pitchfork review. Where I was like, damn, these motherfuckers really be listening to this. Like the opening paragraph is about her being on the show. And I'm like, damn, okay. Like that, not that Pitchfork is the end all be all, but it was like, wow, this is really like, this is getting into a different territory than we
like 30 to
intended or
40% of your best new music interview involves talking about us two guys who she has never met in her life. And when we recorded the episode, I remember being like, oh, this chick doesn't really like us too much. And now she's got
she doesn't know.
That best new music framed on her mom's wall in her basement, and it's just talking about my dumb ass. So that feels good.
I mean, there is this thing about this like sort of type of creatives who like never recognize other people's projects as either like being competitive or just being like, I listen to you, but I'm never going to talk about it in public. But you guys were able to sort of jump over that threshold where people are like, I listen to this podcast, other people listen to it. Like people were willing to talk about something that they actually all enjoyed, which is rare because people are like, did you hear my album? It's like, oh yeah, I listen to it every day. And their actual response time is like, yeah, I've listened once or twice.
It's all right. It's good.
I've listened to it every morning for the last 18 months. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I've checked it out. How's it feel to like have that, at least just being in the conversation? Because
that's the most gratifying thing to me. Like I love the being part of the conversation. Like I want that. And I think that's the community aspect that everybody talks about and strives for is that's how it's actually created. Like when you have some fan account making memes 3 times a day of dumb shit you say, even though that's annoying, you're like, all right, well, this means it's working. Like there's thousands of people that want to participate in this and talk about it negatively, positively, whatever. And it,
good or bad.
To an extent, that's just like, all right, this shit's working, But like, I don't think that, I don't know, like what, I don't. What's the point if no one's talking about it? It's kind of where I'm at a little bit.
Well,
that's my whole
agree with
life.
that, but I think podcasting is so specific because it's such a singular activity, listening to it, and it almost is kind of private and naughty because it only lives in your AirPods while you're walking the dog or whatever. So people don't necessarily talk about certain things. Like if you listen to like a podcast like Come Town, you're probably not going to that's not going to be your opening line at your cocktail party that you get invited to this weekend. You're going to say like, oh, did you hear about this story about the Ugandan slaves on the Daily? And then you're like, that was very powerful. I do listen to podcasts as well. That's awesome. So it's interesting to do a podcast that is not like a very general NPR news type of story thing, and we can get into it a little bit, throw some mud and stuff, and people are still along for the ride. It's cool.
You do have this way of, because your guests do range from fashion, art, music, food, but there is this common thread that when you tune to listen an episode, you're like, all right, I have a good idea of like what I'm going to learn about the guest, what I'm going to hear. How do you approach your research or putting your interview questions together? Because it feels off the cuff, but I also know that it's got to be research because you know a lot of inside baseball.
Darren, there's one criteria for How Long Gone, and it's our rallying cry and what we live on, and are they down to clown? That's the only question. That's the only question we ask. And if they're not obviously down to clown, then the challenge is, can Jason and I convert them to the D2C lifestyle? And I mean, I think research wise, it's like, I mean, a lot of these people I'm tapped in with, like whether I like what they do or I know them personally, or I look at the Wikipedia 5 minutes before. I'm not like, I think the reason it feels off the cuff is because it is a little off the cuff.
No,
I mean, Jason
totally
does more research, but you do a little more research than I do.
So what I like to do is if a guest is coming on, I don't want to like look at the wiki. I'll go through the tweets and just kind of see where their head's at on a few opinions. But it could be any, like we had a girl or a woman on, Joe Ellison, who's like an editor at the Financial Times, like, an older woman. She has like a teenage daughter, like a very successful, respected editor in the writing world. And I went to her Twitter. I'd never heard of her. I didn't know anything about her. I go to her Twitter, and her bio is like written kind of fucked up. And we spent 20 minutes talking to her about how her bio is weird. Like, she did a hashtag, but the hashtag was after the word, not before the word. And she decided to abbreviate her job title. And it was just like EIDTRTMFT.
It was just a bunch of
editor
letters.
hashtag. And so we went through, and she was on her phone live editing her bio, like, oh, I have to change this, I change that. And so like it could be anything as dumb as that, but it's something that's hyper relatable to everyone. Everyone ponders what they're going to write in their social media bio, you know?
Yeah.
I also think we've hit this weird inflection point where it's like popular enough where if people check with their friends or their publicist or whatever, they're told they should do it, and whether they've heard about it or not, or whether they've listened to it or not. And we love, like, Joe is a great example. Joe had no idea what the fuck she was signing up for. Like, had no idea. It's like 6:00 in London. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna, and she gets on and she's like, what the fuck have I signed up for? And then 15 minutes in, you see the tide change, and she's like, oh, this isn't. Like, I don't have to do it. I'm not selling anything. I don't have to. These guys aren't asking me about like what I do for a living. These guys aren't asking me like what it all means. You know,
We're
and
not
you
asking
see
about
her
the intersection of fashion and tech.
Right.
Yeah, you see her. You see people relax in this way. That's like, yeah, man, we're not doing like we're not. That's not what this is. And I think that is always the best. Like, that's the best, you know, possible situation for us.
I think people are so burnt out of just having to talk about work every time they hop on a Zoom or the internet or like with people.
Totally.
So to get like an hour to D2C or to fuck around, it's
Exactly.
like it's like you're
It's
like
fun to listen to people have fun. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
cool. Like
totally.
I'm not trying to learn a ton of stuff here. Like and if I do, I'll pop on like Throughline. But if I just want to like hang for an hour while I like drive or walk or do something.
We've all listened to so many painful conversations on podcasts. There's been so many times where you're like, oh, Mark Maron has Benicio del Toro on, or whatever it is. Like, oh, this is going to be sick. Like two kings battling. What's going to happen? And 48 minutes in, you're like, nothing has happened. It's just
nothing.
Like nobody is having fun. It's just like, because you want to have this serious moment. You want somebody to cry. You want somebody to talk about their process and how to do thing. Just talk as if you're hanging out at a bar. That's all you got to do.
I think there's also, I think in the world of podcasting, and you've been doing this for a long time, you understand, there's like a little bit of like I think there was a little bit of a trench, an unoccupied area where it was like, we're not comedians. We're not like comedy bang bang dorks, but we're also not like NPR, like let's dissect cancer. Sure. And there wasn't much in between. You know what I mean? There really wasn't. There's not stuff that's just like kind of fun. And to Jason's credit, I mean, I think that's what Jason did with Tall Tales and like kind of owned that lane in a way. And I think that we just kind of got into that zone pretty quick because we both recognized that that's what we want to do, and that's also like what we're good at. Yeah, it's like it's a good podcast hang. Like that's what the ethos is like it's like fun. It's like cool. I can hang out. I can learn a little. We don't have to talk about politics, religion, or anything, bummery. No, save the bummery for private. Now, one of the things you guys do talk about a lot is food. Jason, more on the cooking side than Chris. And even though you don't have always like a food guest on, it always does come back to like when you're eating, when you're drinking. Why do you guys like that as a lane of conversation? It's relatable to everyone. It's the most relatable thing in the world. Other than breathing, every motherfucker got to eat. Yeah. And everyone has an opinion on it, and everyone wants to hear someone's and disagree with it or be vindicated, agree with it, whatever it is. If we talk about a Phoebe Bridgers album, 30% of the people listening have heard it and will have an opinion on it. If I'm talking about grilled cheese sandwiches, every motherfucker is going to have something to say about it, And also, food's a big part of our lives. We love food. We love eating. I don't. I love restaurants, but like food and eating. Chris, you love to eat, Chris. Come on. When have you seen me love to eat, Jason? When you're on Oxycontin? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, bro. Look, when I was shame eating pizza zonked out on the couch, you wasn't there. Like no one saw that except me. You know what I mean? Look, I know you love a good meal. You love a good. No, arc. I do. I'm being dramatic. But you love bread service. I do think it is very relatable. That is very true, and it's also something that everyone can talk about. No, you're not going to stump anyone with like a food related question. Usually, that's an easy one to answer, whether you're passionate about it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I know that there is a trope on the show, Chris, about you talking about how you don't care about food, but I would say you do talk about more enjoying going out to restaurants. Like you talked about going to Indochine and going out to eat. Like, I think...
Which Jason, I just learned is a Vietnamese restaurant. I want to redact that from our last episode.
Well, we'll add it to the fact check part at the end of the show. But it's interesting because I get the impression, Chris, you like the experience going out to eat, like the whole entertainment service ritual of it. And Jason, you're drawn a little bit more to cooking at home. Like, what do you guys like about both aspects of what draws you more to the food world?
I mean, I just think going to a restaurant is one of life's great pleasures. I have no interest in looking up a recipe and buying a bunch of fucking spices and using a stove and doing dishes. Like, it just seems crazy to me. Like, it just doesn't give me any joy or pleasure. But that being said, I respect the art form greatly. Like, it's very difficult to be good at it. And I mean, I get to experience that. Jason cooks for me all the time, and it's fucking incredible. And I have a lot of friends that are really good at it, which makes me want to do it even less. Like, it makes me want to participate even less.
Why enjoy the Zen art of motorcycle maintenance when 10 of your friends are really good at fixing motorcycles?
Exactly.
Jason, what's been drawing you in the kitchen? What have you been cooking these days?
Well, I mean, I'm the same as Chris. I love going to a restaurant. I love the pageantry of it. Yeah. I love, the whole process and everything, the energy in the room. It's amazing. One of my favorite things in the world to do. But, because of these unprecedented times going on, restaurants are really taking a shit. Service is bad. It's just not the same as it used to be. So I really like the control aspect of cooking at home. Since I know how to cook whatever I want to make for the most part, I can just make it at home. And I'll be in control exactly of what's going to happen. I'll make it exactly how I like it. And if it's something that I can't make, like sushi or, crazy Chinese food in a wok or whatever it is, then I'm happy to go out and get that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely been the last 2 years has been like that balance of wanting to support the restaurant industry, but then also realizing how expensive and forget the money part about how sometimes it's just like a disappointing service, especially at a new place or a place that is like not on their top of the game. And just
we're done with over tipping. COVID, we're done with the COVID over tipping. And I love to tip, but we're done. Like we had a conversation about this the other night, how it's like, is it time do we really need to tip 50% on the latte anymore? Like these people are making more money than we are at a certain point. We gotta walk it back, man. I want all of our restaurants to thrive, but at a certain point, like I have to eat too.
Yeah, and you want to reward good service. You just don't want to reward,
of course,
just service.
I always reward good service, and I disreward bad service gladly as well. I'll hit you with a 12.5, bitch. Fuck around and find out. I'll hit you with a 22.5.
No, I mean, 22.5. You're so generous. You're so generous.
The problem is, it's just like it's so few and far between that you have those meals where like, oh, everything really did work out. The food was good, the service was good, and there was a value.
An extra.
That's proportionate to the cost to the food. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I don't care if it costs $500 for dinner. If the value is there, then we're doing it.
Yeah.
But if you go to Antico and spend $500 and you get a fucking steak that tastes like anchovies and 2 pastas that smell like my foot after Equinox, then it's going to be a problem. No alcohol.
I can't think of a restaurant. When's the last time you and I have been to a restaurant where you left satisfied? That's the real question.
I feel like, Chris, I've heard you. That's what I'm saying is like I've heard you talk more about leaving restaurants satisfied than I have heard Jason.
Yeah, that's because I don't care about the food. I mean, I do. I mean, it needs to be edible, of course, but like I'm just,
my criteria for a win is much more intense than his. He knows what he's going to get. He's going to get a shrimp cocktail. Yeah, and the shrimp cocktail pretty much tastes, it's either good or it's like I'm barfing. It's it's always good. And then he'll get, a piece of fish that's $47. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I'm not trying to experiment, but I'm trying to think of where I don't know if we I don't know where we've gone lately that we both really liked it. I can't think
the
of
first time we went to horses.
That's
that was
true.
Good.
That's true.
But then
That's
after
true.
that,
Yeah.
that horse got to lay down to pasture.
So you guys have also dabbled in the food world with certain.
Turn him into glue, Darren. That's what he said. That's what Darren said.
You guys have put out coffee. You guys had a vegan breakfast sandwich. When's the next collab? Are we going to get like an Erewhon smoothie? Or
I wish we're working on. I forgot, Jason. We need to restart the conversation with our favorite sandwich, bro.
Oh yeah, we got an Uncle Polly's sandwich coming out.
Yeah, we're doing.
It's going to be our version of it's like a Guido California hippie sandwich, if that makes any sense. It's going to have avocado, sprouts, and the sausage and the peppers and the garlic aioli.
When Queens meets Glendale, you ain't ready.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Here's Song from the Archives. Come back, talk about your album that came out, Adds Colors.
Oh, baby, let's go.
Here we go. Song from the Archives on Snacky Tunes on hrn.org.
Still smoking cigarettes at my windowsill. I love you so much, and I always will. So I can barely keep from crying. What good is it gonna do for me today? Be enough. Love should be enough. True love should be enough. My mind, rattling everything it's not nailed down inside. In my younger days, I've never known the shame of watching someone I really love feeling the same. What is it gonna do for me today? Be enough. Love should be enough. Love, true love should be enough.
Welcome back to Snacky Tunes. We are with Chris and Jason of How Long Gone. You guys recently released your first album back in December, Adds Color on Jaguar. What's the story behind it? What made you want to put out an album?
Well, yeah, great question. Honestly, we just met. We were in Indianapolis working on the coffee because our roaster is there, Tinker is there, and we met Eric from Jaguar. He lives in Bloomington, and he drove for dinner, and it kind of came up organically at a meal, and then I just kind of was like, it was a little loose when we left, and I was like, we got to make this happen because it's so crazy. Like, I'm just going to make this, I'm just going to like really hammer this until it works. And it started off.
Force their hand, really.
Yeah, exactly. The idea, like, was a little more complicated, of course, you know, and then you realize what you can actually do. And we had been doing our music show, and we were like, this is kind of the perfect, we know how to do this. It's pretty simple and straightforward, and they obviously have the rights to all these songs for us to talk about them. And it was just fun, and they're cool. I mean, they get the joke, and they know that it's like, it's just fun for everybody, and it's not that serious, and no one's going to lose or make any money, but that's fine.
I sort of like projects like that these days, where it's like, it's going to exist. We're going to make something tangible that you can hold. We won't make money. We won't lose money, but it's something to do. I mean, you guys put out a CD, which is, it's fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
now we get
to
say we put out a CD, and, you know, we get press around it, and people are like, how are you on Jaguar? And you don't.
And also,
do anything,
I mean, the return of the CD obviously is you know, on the tips of a lot of people's tongues, and I don't want to say we did it first, because we didn't, obviously, but we did.
Obviously, double gatefold disc.
It's a beautiful.
Yeah, we put it maybe back into the zeitgeist. You know what I mean? I don't want to take too much
Darren, we call
credit.
that the Gone effect, where
yeah,
wouldn't you know it? Something that we talked about maybe 3 to 4 months earlier becomes sizzling hot. The opposite of a steak from Antico.
But to me, it was just like, what are we gonna what do we do? Because like vinyl is stupid. Tapes are even more stupid. Like CD is the only physical medium that I think is cool.
Spotify's canceled.
You can't use Spotify anymore. So, but it's like it's the only thing. It's the only one we could do. You know, it's the only physical one we could do. I think. I don't know what else it would have been.
It's the medium of media that is closely attached to our life and childhood. You know, we grew up with CDs, not vinyl, or, you know, maybe cassettes very early in our lives, but it's just a big part of our lives. It's a format that we're familiar with. We know how to use it. We all have cool vintage Mercedes-Benzes and Land Rovers that all have CD players in them. They don't have cassette decks in them. No. You know, it just makes sense.
Did you want to sign to a label or beyond just putting out this CD? Did you like having a
are you fucking
team?
Kidding, bro? Fuck yeah. This is the wildest shit. I've said this all the time. I have no talent, and I got a record out and we're label mates with people who are like truly geniuses. You know what I mean? The whole thing is insane. Yeah, of course. And Eric, I mean,
I
talk to Eric all the time.
Jr. in an elevator and be like, "What's up, bro? We're label mates."
Yeah. No,
like, what do you do? I'm like, I'm a DJ.
I think that and they're cool. Like, everybody over there is cool. They've been supportive in the right way, and like, if we ask for something reasonable, they usually can make it happen. It's like exactly the relationship you want in a situation like this. And I think we also know where we stand. We're not like, you know, where's the out of home campaign, guys? You know, we recognize that what everybody is here for and what we're all trying to do. You know, like everybody agrees.
We're all cool, man. And we got to do What's in Your Bag at Amoeba, which is, you know, a big goal of ours.
Which was great. And it's so interesting. You know, Chris, you and I have DM'd a bit about Dan Ozzy's Sellout book and looking backwards. And The Atlantic put out an article this week that was like, old music is scooping new music. And so the whole idea of looking backwards to CDs and bands like that is just something where I don't know if it's coalesced around this whole thing, but it feels like in the last like 6 months to a year, it's like, oh, everyone else is just going back and listening to old music or listening to bands like rock and roll and things like that.
people are looking for meaning in this, terrible world we live in. And, I think that like any bit of nostalgia is what it's gotten crazy, honestly, like even in the last couple of weeks, like all these festivals and shows that are happening with all these bands that we grew up with. And it's like, I mean, it's getting dark. It's like bands I'm like, I don't even know who this is. You know what I mean? But it's getting crazy. But like, that's just what's going to happen. I mean, that's what it traditionally has always happened. But I think that the pandemic has just made it more extreme. I think the pandemic just made it a little more extreme.
Right, because it's just like we interviewed this band out of New Zealand, and partially because of their age and where they're located and things like that. But he's like, I haven't really seen a lot of live music in my life, and I just listen to older music because it doesn't matter because I'm not seeing anything live anyway.
Interesting.
Which I thought was really interesting. Like, I don't care about the new stuff because I can't see anything anyway, so everything's open to me. I just listen to like 70s and 80s and early 2000 rock, and that's what his music sounds like.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's
unfortunately,
That's
I'm looking at fucking, yesterday I get the update, of Song Exploder, and it's fucking Franz Ferdinand, Take Me Out. And I'm like, God damn it. Like, this is how far we've gone. Like, I mean, that song was huge, but like,
it's just because we're old, guys. Remember when we were kids and Puff Daddy would sample all these old 70s disco songs, and then all the old heads were just like, he ain't making music, he's just copying it. And then we were kids and we were like, I don't give a fuck, it's cool. And now, it's always been happening. This is just how it always goes.
Totally.
I think the only difference now is that when he would sample Led Zeppelin or something like that, it wasn't Led Zeppelin coming back out in the same way that, I don't know, Jawbreaker is coming out to play Dear You, and I'm super pumped about that, but it's not Drake sampling Accident Prone for a new song.
Yeah. You're lucky Jason's not producing anymore. That could be, you could have just given away the keys.
Yeah. So you guys did your own version of live shows. You did a tour last year.
Yes.
How did you like being out on stage, and how did you guys like the live environment? I mean, what did you take away from what you like about live music, live shows, and things like that? Bring it to your show.
Well, unfortunately, I don't really like live music, so that wasn't really a big thing for me. But I mean, I have to know it. I have to like really care. Like, I have to really like it. Like, I'm not going to just go check out a band.
Sure,
like I'm not. I'm not going to do that.
That's fair.
I mean, I did
like
that for 15 years.
Yeah, I like live music as long as there's a place to sit down. So we made sure that was what we took into our podcast tour.
Good point.
Is make sure we got chairs.
Deeply appreciated, by the way.
No, but we had a blast. I mean, it was super fun, and I think that like, we'll definitely be doing more of it, and I think that we did it in a way that felt, like us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's like, I don't want to do a show at the Bell House. You know what I mean? Like, I want to do a show at Bowery Ballroom. Like, I just don't like. It's just another thing that I feel like we should never have access to that we do, so we have to do it that way. We have to do it the way that like we can get away with. And also I think working with High Road is like, that's what they do. I mean, that's like where they book bands, so it all made sense to do it in these places like Bowery Ballroom or the Lodge Room or Shuba's or whatever.
Lodge Room, what probably best venue in LA.
Yeah,
that
was
place.
Great.
I'd never been there. Obviously, I hate Highland Park. It was amazing. Like. Honestly, I loved it.
Great green room. The green room had 2 stories.
Amazing.
Yeah,
that was
great green room. Whole vibe was good.
And you guys have also talked about doing what I guess Fred Armisen did and comedians did, but opening it for bands and things like that. Do you have any plans to do that in the future? Is that where you would want to go? Do you just want to, because you had bands open for you, but would you want to flip it and say like, hey, we're going to open the show? How would you sort of bridge that gap? Or would you just be like, we're just going to try and win them over? For those who want
think, we've talked about this a lot because like we do want to do that, and that's something we've talked to our agents about, and that's something Jason and I have talked about because I think it's like a logical next step. But it's also like, what crowd? Like we're talking about getting on festivals now. It's like, we could probably do Pitchfork, but they're like a bunch of humorless dorks. Like it's not going to work. You know what I mean? So it's like we have to pick our battles of like, who do we think would we compliment, you know what I mean? Whose crowd would get what we're doing? Whose crowd has listened before? That whole thing, which is a delicate dance, I would say.
Yeah,
but it's also I think it's a little bit of kind of like a sign of the times with our unfortunate decline of attention spans where I see a scenario where people would rather sit, they would rather just watch us like crack jokes and make fun of music and the band's playing for 15 minutes than like wait for, some opener to like set up all their gear and sound check and then play their songs that you've never heard before, strike all their gear, have the, it's like, they're like, it's just too much. And they would rather, the chances of them enjoying us just interviewing Phoebe Bridgers after she performed on stage and cracking some jokes is going to be much more entertaining than seeing some loser ass band play.
Or hearing the sound guys CD or mix.
Yes, exactly.
Mixtape.
The other option. No, 100%. I mean,
okay, cool, man.
I think we'll figure out. I mean, historically, this is like there's a precedent for this. Like people have done this, whether it was in the 70s or whatever. Yeah. So it's like
Kinnison would open for AC/DC or shit like that, But you really get to pump the crowd up, and you get to get them revved up, and we can go like, ladies and gentlemen, Sigur Rós, and then because otherwise the band playing before Sigur Rós is going to finish an hour before they ever go on, and you're just going to be like,
that energy really does take a dip, especially now when it's like a 4-hour show. There's 2 bands, it's 45 minutes in between, and you're like, okay, all right, okay. Yeah,
it's too much.
You guys should hop over to the Shrine. You should guys come warm up the Bjork crowd for the weekend.
I think that would go really well for us.
Love to do that.
I think that's the center of the Venn diagram.
Exactly our crowd.
So you guys are about to hit 300 episodes. I imagine we're going to get probably a lot more after that. What are you looking forward to? You got some guests coming up, but what are you hoping to do with the show? Have on any dream guests, things like that?
I mean, we just want to keep cranking. Honestly, I think after last year was pretty crazy and like the tour and the whole thing, it was kind of like, before this year started, we kind of sat down, like, let's just like podcast for a while. Like, let's just do our show and like get as good as we can at it. And obviously like book the guests that we want and keep on doing what we're doing. And then
get
on the business side,
hours in.
Yeah, exactly. on the business side, just put in the work and figure out what the next move is. You know what I mean? Whether it's shows or things that are bigger than that, it's like we just have to figure it out, But the reality is you can't, you can't focus on that stuff more than the show itself, or there's going to be an issue. And I think that's a fine line too.
Yeah, the show itself always takes precedent, and then we've done 300 episodes in less than 2 years, so
that's amazing.
It really is a lot of like a testament to hard work and just like getting in and doing the reps, listening to the podcast, going back and knowing where you can improve, where you can't improve. So I think we kind of have our formula down and our confidence level is up on what we can and can't do. So all we have to do is just, like Chris said, keep potting, and then hopefully, we'll have access to more and more guests that we didn't have access to before as our show grows, and we can get, David Spade on and Nigella Lawson and,
great.
everyone else in between.
I mean, the consistency is key. Like the fact that you guys are.
No, it is. It really is.
I mean, that's people ask all the time, like, oh, I want to start a podcast. I want to do this. I'm like, all right. Like the biggest thing I can say is like, are you willing to set a schedule and stick that schedule? And then everything else is like, you'll get there. You'll just keep doing episodes and it'll get better, get worse. But can you say we're going to do this 3 times a week, once a week, twice a month, and then do it?
No, 100%. I mean, I think that's the thing you see.
Thank God most people can't.
Yeah, you see people flame out with whatever it is, and it's like
four episodes about baseball statistics, and you're like, glad you bought $2,000 worth of gear.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
The problem and the benefit is the better the podcast is, or better the band is, or whatever it is, the easier it looks, and the more you think, oh, I could do that. And people email me all the time, and they're like, oh, we listened to you guys. It's just 2 fucking friends bullshitting about where they had lunch that day and we know where they're going to work out. I can do that. Anyone can do that. And luckily, most people can't really actually do that.
Yeah. It's the booking the guests, putting the time in, and it just seems, you guys make it seem effortless, but it's a lot of work.
We work very hard on it.
It's good. Well, listen, thank you guys for taking the time. If people want to check out the podcast, get some merch, see when the new drops are coming for collaborations, or reach out to see if they can get a spot on the show, for booking agents, where can they go?
Definitely don't do that. Howlonggone.com is the website. Everything is there. And then, Jason and I are, of course, on twitter.com and all of that stuff for the real-time action, if that's what you truly crave. And new shows are out. New shows are out everywhere you listen to podcasts, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday without fail.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys. Really appreciate making the time.
Oh, of course. Thank you.
Yeah. We have a song from the archives, and then we have a performance from the archives from your label mates, Small Black, here on Snacky Tunes.
Yeah. Let's go.
Had to save it for you guys. Here we go on Snacky
perfect.
Tunes on hrn.org.
In the perfect day, in the stardust of a melody, this day is a perfect day. Leaves fall in time with the song. Listen now, can you hear it playing through the walls? Keeps me hanging on. Set the clock back, save the daylight. One more hour before it fades into the night. When we drift off to sleep, we'll dream of holding on to memories. Where are you? Where are you now? Where are you? We're all swaying to your song. Eyes closed, sun falls on my face. I dissolve. This day was a perfect day. Leaves fell. I forgot myself. Set the clock back, save the daylight. One more hour before it fades into the night.
This episode is brought to you by Route 11 potato chips. From the moment Route 11 dropped their first batch of chips back in the early days of 1992, they understood their destiny as a high-quality producer. Instead of succumbing to the frenzy of mass production, they took advantage of their small size and made chipping a personal art form. The payoff was immediate, an incredible potato chip. With a secret recipe and superior ingredients, their mission is to make an outstanding product in a safe and clean environment. In this world of uncertainty that we live in, Route 11 potato chips believe comfort food can be just that. Know where your food comes from. To learn more, visit rt11.com.
Well, I'm looking at 4 proud fathers of their new baby. Is an album a girl or... It's a girl, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Sure?
I think this one, yeah.
So 6 days old. Have you guys slept? How's she doing? She all right? She crying a lot?
Keeps us up at night.
Yeah.
Just give her a little whiskey every night, and then she goes right out.
Yeah. So Limits of Desire is out. Super excited. How do you guys feel about it?
I feel great.
Yeah?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on it, but it was worth it, and I don't know, we're really proud of it.
What's it like to sit down and write an album these days and put it out in the crazy world that is the music industry?
It's an interesting question. I don't know. It's like something like a release date is such a weird thing now because the album's streaming a week before.
Right.
People have stolen it, a couple weeks before that. So.
Oh really?
Like,
were you guys hacked?
Yeah, I mean, I think it got leaked like maybe 2 weeks before, which is pretty damn good.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, no, that's about the best you can hope for. So.
How does it feel to see a leak of your album?
Cool.
Yeah.
Because people care enough that they're
looking
steal
for it. Yeah.
It's fine. I think everybody steals music. It's just the reality of things. You pay for what you can afford. So
yeah,
everybody that hears our band is we're lucky for them to check it out.
So give us a quick history of the band. How'd you guys all meet?
Ryan and I are from Long Island.
Strong Island.
Yeah, and we're friends from back then. And then Jeff and Juan are friends from college, and then we kind of buddied up and started the band.
Supergroup?
Yeah.
And what year was that?
2009.
Okay, so it's been a minute.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. 4 years. You guys still all friends?
Yeah. Tour will makes everybody crazy, but then we chill out for a week and become friends again.
That's because tour isn't natural. Like tour is the most unnatural. We're gonna put you in a van. We're gonna give you no sleep, and it's like
lots of stress.
Lots of stress.
Yeah, everybody has had their meltdowns, so just try to manage them.
I wouldn't trust a guy or a girl in a band on a tour who didn't have a meltdown, because then you're like, oh, this person's fucking crazy. And they're
actually this guy Ryan, I can't. Maybe Ryan hasn't had a meltdown.
Really?
He's a real even keel.
I guess not.
He's
I guess
a good
I'm
one to have
totally
around,
nuts.
because when you're acting like a nut, you just look at Ryan. He's very sensible and calm, and then you feel bad about yourself.
What's the food sitch on the road?
We don't play around. We eat real well.
Really?
We don't eat crap. We're super into Yelp, and like when we're on like a long drive, we plot out all the cities that are on the route, and we'll call an order in advance and pick it up on the way.
Oh, you're no joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not eating.
We try not to do
crap.
this, gas station shit.
The 99-cent burrito.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, because really, when you're on a 10-hour drive, the only thing to look forward to is something good to eat. So,
what's some of your favorite places?
Like cities or restaurants?
Hit me with both.
We've had really good luck in Phoenix.
Have you gone to America's Best Tacos near the airport?
No, but I want to.
We'll trade info. They do this carne asada, and they just put it in 8 different types of wraps.
That sounds really good. We might have to do that. We went to this place called Fez, which is like a sandwich joint, and Triple H from WWF was there.
Oh yeah, Fez in Phoenix?
Yeah.
Yeah, some other band was on the show talking about Fez.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I think I think there are just communication between bands. I mean, look, you're all looking for good food at a certain price point in certain towns.
Yeah.
You're going to come across the same thing.
It's true. That place has been a go-to. What was the name of that diner we ate at in Denver? Something with an S. I wish I knew the name.
Oh,
That food was
yeah.
delicious. Really good fried chicken.
You guys, anyway. All right, so let's
Good
see.
name.
I'll look it up. I'll see if I can find it. You said
Yeah.
S Diner, Colorado.
We'll find it, yeah.
Is it in Denver? All right, we'll see if we can find a thing. So, you guys gonna rip a song for us?
Yeah, let's do it.
What song are you playing first?
The song is called No Stranger.
All right, here we go. Small Black, new dads of the new album. Their little baby girl, No Strangers, here on Snacky Tunes.
Tell me where you thought you saw me. Tell me why you asked my name. Tell me how you come to be in this place. Tell the story how you want to. Make up all the details. Tell me what feels good. I don't care. You're no stranger. You're no stranger to me. Take me for another body. Come out of the wilderness. Maybe just a window you could have passed. Take me through your barricades. Push me through your city walls. Take me, I can be whoever you want. You're no stranger. You're no stranger to me. You're no stranger. You're no stranger to me, to me, to me, yeah, 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 yeah. Nothing here is set in stone. Nothing here is set in stone. Nothing here is set in stone. You don't even know where I come from. Could I be someone that you could trust? Nothing here is set in stone. You don't even know where I come from. Could I be someone that you could trust? You're no stranger. You're no stranger to me. Don't even know. Don't even know. Don't even know. Don't even know. Don't even
That's a summer jam.
Thanks.
That's a straight up summer jam. So what's the writing process for you guys? Is I heard you when you guys were warming up before the show started. There was definitely a little bit of jam going on. You guys jam it out. And then you figure out songs from there?
We do some jamming.
Yeah?
It's really different song to song. Yeah, some are from jams. Some are from a song somebody brings to the band, and then we kind of rework around all the different elements. I think for this record, songs didn't really become contenders for the record until they had a hook that we thought was good and that we latched onto. So I think that was the main criteria as far as how we followed through and finished things.
I think one of the things that I like now, or when you can definitely tell that a band wrote an album and not just a single, and you guys put out an actual album. So what's it like when you're structuring, not just going for one song, but a whole start to finish and placement and things like that? I just was reading about the Breeders' 20th anniversary of The Last Splash, and they're like talking about song placement and structure and the way it goes, and I feel that that's a lost art.
Yeah, I would say with this record, like Free at Dawn, the first track was definitely designed as an intro track, and the last track, Outskirts, is definitely was always designed to be the ending. So we had that in mind, and then I think the rest, things start to, as you get closer with the mix, they start to really show their head as to where they belong in the record and what role they serve. You know, there's a couple songs that we cut from the record that I think are really good that just weren't, you know, they didn't serve the proper role in the record.
And do those become 7 inches, or what do you do with those?
We're kind of, we just put the record out, so we're still figuring out what to do. But yeah, 7 inches are great. EPs, you know, it's kind of what.
You know, you got to respect Record Store Day for, I think, breathing life back into the 7-inch and making it like a new commodity. I feel for a few years that was not a thing. And, you know, the digital download or like the free song, but there's something nice about having it be tangible, even if it's 200 copies, and you release it online.
No, I love 7 inches. I think that's probably the music form I buy the most, just because it's $5 or $6. It's a nice way to support the band. You get the cool art. I mean, I like the general size of a 7-inch. It looks great, and I don't know. It's usually got some track that's not as easy to find on the net.
Yeah,
on the B side.
Do you find that people aren't ripping 7 inches as much as they are albums?
I mean, they do. I mean, everything eventually ends up on YouTube. But I think it's sometimes harder to find like that nice MP3 or something that you want to listen to.
Yeah. What's your most prized 7-inch?
My brother.
Yeah, Juan's brother was like a deep '80s DJ. So musical youth. Yeah, I'm Elda Barge 7-inch.
Pass the Dutchie.
Yeah.
Really?
That's great.
That's the summer jam. That's like
there's your dub right there.
Yeah. Pop, but the jam. Kid vocal, when you can get away with it, is really great.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of fun. I also like playing 7-inch. I mean, DJing is fun.
Yeah,
I
no.
usually just bring out the computer and do the whole Serato thing, but the 7-inch thing is fun. You really work it. Especially with, you know, those are 2-3 minute songs and you're sweating and...
You better have those records organized or you're going to be playing some trash.
Oh my God. Nothing is shorter than when you don't have the next song queued up, or longer than when you played the wrong song.
Yeah, no.
You can't get out of a 7. There's no
there's no
drag and drop a new song.
Nah.
No, you gotta let that bomb play out.
Now, you guys doing any barbecues this summer? You guys cooking or
Juan,
any barbecue?
Juan is the guy. He's a deep barbecuer.
Juan, what you got?
He's our foodie guy. He's the go-to.
I'm from Argentina, so we have asado down there.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
very, very different style than
That's
here.
like the big flame. That's
And it's every house has basically like a clay giant barbecue built into the backyard. There's a joke in Argentina that every house starts with the barbecue and then builds outward from there.
Well, we got the barbecue, and we're thinking about building a house around it, right?
That's pretty much Argentina, and it's just incredible, the meat quality. It's lean but very flavorful down there. And the cows are very healthy. Just incredible food. And produce, it's kind of like anything that you would have to go out of your way to get here, organic, it's just kind of regular there. So that's kind of the best, because you don't feel like you're doing gourmet cooking. You're just doing regular cooking. But it's like...
Well, there was a time when regular cooking was just gourmet cooking.
Exactly.
What's is that your? I mean, what do you do in Brooklyn? Because I am assuming
I would love to. I've been trying to think about importing the grill. It's like a V-shaped grill because it catches the fat, doesn't let the fat drip and smoke up into the meat. So I'm thinking about importing one of those and building one. We're also talking about doing a smoker in the backyard this summer, smoking some whole chickens.
That's nice.
Yeah, we're not playing around.
No,
we were into it.
It's.
Yeah.
I think the backyard Brooklyn barbecue scene.
Yeah.
No, people don't come here to play.
No.
You know,
everyone's a foodie now.
You better not show with some pre-made patties.
Oh no!
Yeah, exactly. Like
I was in the bodega yesterday and I saw those pre-wrapped cheeseburgers, and I was like,
God.
"Who still
Those are rough.
buys
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary. All right, enough about food. Let's do another song. We'll talk about food all day. What do we got next?
The song's called Sophie.
Okay, here we go. Small Black Sophie here live on Snacky Tunes.
She was the endurance for sure. A reason for moving the lock from the door. But who could hope to know what she does and where she goes? You might learn to take her. She is. She will be. So, you're double in many ways. But only one of you can pull the strings. To be the guest, to be the other one. Is it so bad? You're starting to understand. She is. She will be. So, everybody knows everybody knows. Everybody knows everybody knows. She is. She will be. She is. She will be. So
Rad. Super rad. So how would you best describe your music?
Oh man,
I'm kidding. I'm not going to ask you music questions like that. Let's get back to the food. So what is your favorite time of the year to eat? Are you guys barbecue men, or are you guys like winter soup dudes or things like that? Come on on in. You're the food guy. Don't stand in the corner.
Yeah.
Just over there.
I just like to eat fried chicken all the time.
You know, there was a good article in the Times last week about how to fry chicken and how if it's not deep fried, it's not that bad for you.
If it's not deep fried, it's not that bad for you. I thought if you had the temperature hot enough, the fat didn't get in.
Yeah.
And it's kind of okay.
It's kind of okay. Like the deep fried stuff that you get at KFC, that's bad for you.
Bad.
But the
Sad
but the cast iron 2-inch skillet stuff is not as bad for you. And I'm just gonna. And guess what? If I read that wrong, I'm just going to believe that it's not that bad for me.
Keep telling me that.
Right?
Keep telling me that.
Sounds good.
So we learned today that Jamaican bitters are awesome and fried chicken is a health food.
It's a health food.
It's a health food.
It's absolutely a health food. I read the other day that I was looking for recipes to make a pudding, like caramel pudding, and this one was like, this is really healthy, low in fat, high in calcium and protein. I was like, all right, I'll just make some caramel pudding.
You know, look,
why not?
I think the biggest issue is processed food.
Yeah,
I think if you can just eat good ingredients, like, okay, this pizza that we're eating, probably not every day, but essentially it's just bread and sauce and
good cheese.
Good cheese.
Yeah, I'm reading this Joseph Mitchell book, and this one section is all about the Fulton Fish Market, and there's this big section that he hangs out with this 93-year-old guy who's pretty much only eaten seafood his whole life.
Yeah.
And he goes into this big, and this is like in the 40s, and he goes off on like bread you'd get at the supermarket or whatever, you got it there, and said he would never eat it and that it's trash. And this guy seemed like was the first person that was completely against processed foods, and I think he lived to like be 100. Just
it's really everything now is just going back to the way things were before all the processing. Trying to like the whole like dry aged steak thing. It's like every steak used to be dry aged.
Yeah,
that was the way you did it. And now it's like the special thing. We actually dry age our own steaks at home too, which is nice.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, we mess with that. We've definitely done that. Couple porterhouses.
What's the longest you let a steak go?
I just go like 2 or 3 days tops.
Okay.
And then it starts to dry out. And then I do the Heston Blumenthal method of just like hot sear, 15 seconds, flip for 2 minutes, done.
Really?
Flip every 15 seconds. It never lets either side cool down, so it builds a nice crust, gets it nice and medium.
I usually just do like a 2 minute. You know, Carlo over at Blanca does an 85-day steak.
Get out of here.
85. It's like
it's like jerky by the end, but it's like
no. It's got like a funky blue cheese, moldy.
Ooh, delicious.
Yeah.
Just cut that right off.
You can't be afraid of the funk in both music and steak.
No.
You know?
No, certainly not.
So what's the plans for you guys? Tour coming?
Yeah, we start tour on May 29th in Boston, and then we come back and wrap up in New York at Music Hall of Williamsburg on the 30th of June.
Oh, so you guys are out for a month.
Yeah, and then we'll be out again.
So what, you going north and around?
Circle, yeah.
Circle. One of my favorite burrito places is up in Boston. You guys go to Anna's Taqueria?
Ooh, I have been there. It's incredible. The
Yeah.
burrito there. I had it like a decade ago, so I don't know if it's still the same, but oh my God. Do you know the Soul Clap guys?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good friends with Charlie from growing up.
Yeah.
Family friends, so we used to go there.
Oh, man, it's
up
good.
In Boston.
That was like the first mission-style, like steamed cheese type of burrito quesadilla
So
thing
good.
I've ever had. Go there.
Yeah,
it's good.
That's on the list.
Yeah. So you guys are just doing all North America? You guys dip into Canada?
Yeah, we're doing Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver. Toronto's got great food, and Montreal too.
That's my hometown. It's my dad's from.
Where's Joe Beef at? Is that in
Montreal?
Montreal, yeah.
Dude, call him so you can get a res.
I know, right? That'd
Seriously.
be amazing. Hey, yo, our band loves your restaurant.
Our band loves your restaurant.
If you're listening right now, Joe Beef, guys, we'll definitely come check it out.
Just go to Schwartz's or go to Fairmont Bagels or things like that. Just get some of that dirty poutine.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
So I want to thank you guys coming on. What's all the nuts and bolts? Where can people buy the album?
You can just get it at our website, small-black.com, or just grab it from Jaguar or iTunes, Amazon. It's on all those various places.
And can people follow the tour on Twitter, Instagram? What are those?
Yeah. Facebook. It's pretty easy to find if you just Google Small Black. Small BLK is the Twitter handle. So.
And where's the name from?
I moved to Portland on a whim once, and I was living in this really sort of screwed up house, and there was a pack of raccoons that lived in the attic.
Okay.
And we named them all, and one of them was named Small Black, and that's what we named. That was the name of the band.
Interesting. Well, shout out to Lissa. Lissa, what do you got?
Tumblr.
Oh, the Tumblr.
Oh, Tumblr, yeah. Smallblack.tumblr.com. I love Tumblr.
which just got bought by Yahoo today for $1 billion.
Really? Wow. That's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's really the way to make money.
I guarantee you, Tumblr's savoring champagne bottles right now. I think that's
Hey,
what you
Tumblr
do.
guys, we love you guys.
I think that's what happens when you sell for like $1 billion. I think that's what Instagram did. They just saber. They get those like big, comically sized magnums.
The Shandong, like the Magnum. Like,
Yes, the Shandons, which are crazy because they're like $100,000. It's like 100. I don't know.
We drink that sometimes after shows.
Oh, yeah?
Just get a novelty, like human-sized bottle.
And just saber it with one of the guitars.
Sure.
Awesome. All right, so what's the last song we're gonna get?
We're gonna do Oldies, Despicable Dogs.
Awesome. Well, Small Black, Ben, everybody, thank you so much. We will be off next week because we will be enjoying a day of barbecue.
No doubt.
No doubt. You guys got barbecue plans for Memorial Day?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We're working on it.
Oh, you're working on it.
We're working on it.
Working on it. Start aging those. Hey, man, do we get some funky steaks for next Monday?
Steak and shrimp.
Yeah,
That's
I'll
what
do
we're
the
gonna do.
80 day.
85.
85 day.
I know, right?
That's really bold.
dedication.
Yeah.
It scares me, but obviously, I don't know.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Small Black, Snacking Tunes. See you in 2 weeks. Thanks, guys.
I know where they build them, I know when they're selling love. Wilder than the worst one, wilder than the one I know. Smoke machine begins to blow. Lots of water on the floor. Oh, indifferent to the written word, lost in the word on another hunt, and they rattle and they rattle. Do it without me, do it when I'm gone. Right as I hunt you, right as you run, you dog. I know how you watch your motto, you wanna, maybe in the factory, maybe in the actual world. Mine leaves out in the snow. My police have yet to go. Indifferent to the written word, lost in the wood on another hunt, and they rattle and they rattle. Do it without me, do it when I'm gone. Right as I hunt you, right as you run, you dog. Do it without me, do it when it's wrong. Right as I hunt you, right as you run, you dog. I'm loving the world. I'm loving the world. I'm loving the world. talk about food, we talk about music with musical dudes. Finger on the pulse, snacky tunes.
This program is powered by Simplecast.
Thanks for listening to Heritage Radio Network, food radio supported by you. For our freshest content and to hear about exclusive events, subscribe to our newsletter. Enter your email at the bottom of our website, heritageradionetwork.org. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at heritage_radio. Heritage Radio Network is a nonprofit organization driving conversations to make the world a better, fairer, more delicious place. And we couldn't do it without support from listeners like you. Want to be a part of the food world's most innovative community? Rate the shows you like, tell your friends, and please join our community by becoming a member. Just click on the beating heart at the top right of our homepage. Thanks for listening.